is changing all the time. Everybody sometimes.
Situated. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Excellent. All right. Good? Okay. First, I'd like to begin by welcoming you all and thank you for being here and being part of Victoria and Brian's big day. Each of you were invited to be here because you represent someone important in the individual and collective lives of Brian and Victoria. It would be remiss not to mention that in these wild times that we're living through, with lost loved ones and deep isolation, canceled plans, and postponed joy, what a gift it is to be here together in this beautiful place to celebrate the continuing love and partnership of Victoria and Brian. And in the spirit of staying present to this beautiful day, let's celebrate the fact that we don't have to be together behind screens and put our phones away and be here together for the next couple minutes. Is there anything we spend more time on in this life than looking for love? Every song, film, poem, modern and classical, chronicles this search for the people we can share our days with. But, of course, most of these songs and stories also tell us that before we can get to the love stuff, we have to find ourselves first. And each of you here today has played a monumental part in helping both Brian and Victoria develop who they are as people, their dreams, their voices, what matters to them, and how they express that to the world. For those of you who don't know me, I met Victoria a million movie nights and mini-term projects and school plays ago in our freshman year of high school, and our 15-year friendship has carried us through some high highs and low lows and everything in between. And though we can agree on comically little for two best pals, what we have always had in common is a particular penchant for, let's just call them what they usually are, bad movies. If I added up how many hours the two of us have spent quoting She's the Man or belting out anthems from any one of the High School Musical trilogy, it would be amazing that either of us had time to build a life or career, let alone find someone to share those things with. And though it didn't keep us from looking, after studying all of these love stories, we were pretty sure we would only ever find our Mr. Darcy on screen. Until Brian appeared. And he happened to like bad movies just as much as we did. As I looked for a way to tell Victoria and Brian's love story, I couldn't help but return to the litany of chick flicks we've loved over the years. If their story were a teen drama, I'd tell you about the time that Brian stood gray hoodie clad outside Victoria's apartment in the pouring rain to prove his undying affection. Or if Brian and Victoria had met in a Jane Austen novel, I'd be up here telling you about the misty morning they first met as day broke to once and for all admit their true love for one another. And if this were a Disney movie, some woodland creatures and I would be up here singing a song about how much they love each other, and probably shortly followed by Victoria bludgeoning me with that beautiful bouquet. But if their love story were a rom-com, we'd have left our star-crossed lovers right at the end of their meet-cute before anything got real. Their story would be sealed with a kiss. Right now, the credits would roll, and instead it's just beginning. If this were a rom-com, we wouldn't take the time to account for the small ways we love each other that add up to a real love story. And it is in those small ways that make this story more than a movie ever could be. And I can think of no two people in my life who show up more for each other, more wholeheartedly or more steadfastly than Brian and Victoria. The weekend I first met Brian, I was visiting Boston, and in less than attractive rom-com fashion, came down with a truly heinous sinus infection. And as luck would have it, Victoria also had the same aforementioned truly heinous sinus infection and offered me her couch for convalescence. Here I am meeting the new boyfriend with snot draining out of my nose and a fever of 103, and we implored Brian to get out and as far away from us and avoid the plague at all costs. But he didn't. Instead, Brian brought us soup and juice and stayed and took care of not only his new girlfriend, but his girlfriend's stray friend, while we steamed our clogged noses over a pot on the stove, concocted strange potions of Gatorade and tea, and subjected him to an endless marathon of Disney Channel original movies. And if that's not romance, I don't know what is. So, at the end of the day, I guess it kind of is a rom-com. Then it's more. It's life. And I don't know anyone more equipped to show up for each other in good times and in bad. Victoria and Brian's love reminds me that though our world is changing every minute, faster than we can catch it, what endures is the small ways we safeguard and come through for and recognize each other every day. Their unyielding sweetness toward one another makes this a Category 1 great love story to which we've all had the privilege of bearing witness. If I hadn't been sure that Brian was the one for Victoria that sinus-infected weekend in Boston, I was sure when he said he would be willing to get weekly allergy shots to make Victoria's dream of getting a dog a reality. And in the spirit of lessons learned from canines, I'd like to invite Liz to come up and read Taylor Molly's poem on how falling in love is like owning a dog.
All I need to know about life, I learned from my dog. Never pass up the opportunity to go for a joyride together. Allow the experience of fresh air and the wind in your face to be pure ecstasy. When loved ones come home, always run to greet them. When you want treats, practice obedience. Let others know when they've invaded your territory. Take naps together and stretch before rising. Run, romp, and play daily. Be loyal. If what you want lies buried, dig until you find it. When someone is having a bad day, be silent, sit close by, and nuzzle them gently. Thrive on the attention and let people touch you. Avoid biting when a simple growl will do. When you're happy, dance around and wag your entire body. No matter how often you're scolded, don't buy into the guilt thing and pout. Run right back and make friends. Delight in the simple joy of a long walk together. Love each other unconditionally.
All right. Man, Victoria, take this ring and place it on Brian's finger. Repeat after me. Today I promise you
Today I promise you
that though the world may change,
that though the world may change,
and though we may change with it,
and though we may change with it,
I will always love you,
I will always love you,
always support you,
always support you,
and will share all that I am with you.
and will share all that I am with you.
I am proud from this day forward
I am proud from this day forward
to be called your wife.
to be called your wife.
Brian, take this ring and place it on Victoria's finger. Repeat after me. Today I promise you
Today I promise you
that though the world may change,
that though the world may change,
and though we may change with it,
and though we may change with it,
I will always love you,
I will always love you,
always support you,
always support you,
and will share all that I am with you.
and will share all that I am with you.
I am proud from this day forward
I am proud from this day forward
to be called your husband.
to be called your husband.
Okay. Victoria. I'm gonna give him a minute. Victoria, will you take Brian to be your partner in this life today and from this day forward?
I do.
You do.
I will and I do.
Yeah. Okay, grammar. Ryan, do you take Victoria to be your partner in this life today and from this day forward?
I will and I do.
Brian and Victoria, we have heard your promise to share your lives in marriage, in the celebration of your love so far, the promise of today and every day after, and in accordance with the laws of the state of Rhode Island and the powers vested in me by the universallifechurch.com, it is my honor and delight to call you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.